Salam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala. This is our 31st reading from the book Al-Qira'atu Rashida. It is entitled Yawmul Eid. Yawmul Eid. The day of the Eid. Mudaf mudaf ilay. Yawm is the mudaf marfu'. Eid mudaf ilay majroor. The day of Eid. كان أمس يوم العيد. كان, it was or he was, أمس. أمس from Alaf Mim Sin, meaning yesterday. Yesterday. You can also say, as far as to build on this word, Laylatul Ams. Laylatul Ams. Meaning, right? Meaning, yesterday night. Or you could say Awwal Ams. Awwalu Ams. That's three humps right there, right? Or Ams al-Awwal, and this means 2 days ago. Both of these mean 2 days ago, right? Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. Awwal Ams or Ams al-Awwal, the day before yesterday. Laylatul Ams. Laylatul Ams. Yesterday night. Right? Kana amsi yawmul Eid. Yesterday was the day of Eid. And Ams is always going to be majroor like that. Right? Ams. Kana amsi yawmul Eid. Yesterday was the day of Eid. اجتمع الناس والأطفال عند الغروب. اجتمع from Jim, Mim, Ain. اجتمع meaning to gather. Form 8. اجتمع الناس. الناس, here's your file. The people gathered. والأطفال, and the children gathered. عند الغروب. عند الغروب from Ghain, Ra, Bal. Ba, here meaning the setting. Maghrib is called Salatul Maghrib because that is the time of the setting of the sun. The west is called Al-Maghrib because the sun sets in the west. So اجتمع الناس والأطفال عند الغروب. The people and the children gathered at the time of setting. عند here meaning at the time of or during the setting. ويتراءون الهلال. يتراءون from Ra, Aleph or Hamza. Yeah, Ra'a, Yara. Here, form 6. They are all looking for the halal. يتراءون, plural. يتراءون. They're looking for what? The hilal. They're searching for the hilal. Hilal meaning the crescent, the new moon. Make sure you don't say halal with a ha. No, hilal with a soft ha. وَصَعِدُوا عَلَى سُقُوفٍ. وَصَعِدُوا, sa'idu from Sin, Ain, Dal, meaning to go up, to ascend. Here it could mean to climb. Ala suquf al-buyut. Ala, they climbed on, they went up on, ascended upon. Suquf from Sin, Qaf, Fa, meaning saqf would be the singular, suquf the plural. The roofs of the houses. Suquf al-buyut. Suquf al-buyut, the roofs of the houses. This is mudaf mudaf ilay. Suquf is majroor after ala. Suquf al-buyut, the roofs of the houses. Wa sutuh, the sath is also like the saqf, the roof. Sutuh here being plural, just like suquf. You have saqf, saqfun, For the singular, you also have sathun. Right? The plurals are suquf and sutuh. Sutuh, when used here together with saqf, they're not going to say the roofs of the houses and the roofs. Rather, sutuh is going to be like a terrace on a roof. A place on the roof where you would go up there and sit and have a place, right? Suquf here would just be like the regular roof, while sutuh is going to be the roof, but you have a place up there to sit. وَعَلَى الْمَنَارَاتِ وَعَلَى, and upon the manarat, the plural of manara, meaning the minaret, right? Manara. ظهر الهلال. ظهر meaning to appear. It became apparent. It appeared. Al-hilalu, the hilal, ظهر, it became apparent or it appeared. فهتف الأولاد. فهتف, from ha, ta, fa. And we know a word similar to this. Hatif. Telephone. Hatif. فهتف, meaning to call out, to shout. So a hatif allows you to call out, to shout at another person, right, from far away. فَهَتَفَ الْأَوْلَادُ, so the children shouted, Al-Hilal, Al-Hilal, the crescent, the crescent. وَجَرَوْا إِلَى بُيُوتِهِمْ. وَجَرَوْا, from jara, yajri, to run. We've had this word previously. وَجَرَوْا, this is in the third person plural. وَجَرَوْا, and they ran, إِلَى بُيُوتِهِمْ, to their houses. وَسَلَّمُوا عَلَى آبَائِهِمْ. وَسَلَّمُوا, and they gave greetings, salams, right? وَسَلَّمُوا, and they said, Assalamu alaikum. عَلَى آبَائِهِمْ, upon their fathers. Aba, the plural of ab. على آبائهم وأمهاتهم, the plural of أمهات. وعلى الأقارب, أقارب, the plural of قريب. We've had all these words before. The relatives, أقارب, the relatives. فدعوا لهم بالبركة وطول العمر. فدعوا, so they made dua. So da'aw, they made dua. Lahum, for them. Bil baraka, for blessings. Wa tul al umri. Tul, meaning and length and long. Al umr, long life, long lifespan, long age. Wa nam al atfalu, and the children slept. Laylat al-Eid, the night of the Eid, qalilan. How did they sleep? Qalilan. The hal is mansoob. They slept a little bit. Right? وَاسْتَيْقَظُوا مُبَكِّرِينَ, and they woke up early. They woke up early. Mubakkirin, from ba, kaf, ra. Mubakkir, early, to be early. وَاسْتَيْقَظُوا مُبَكِّرِينَ, and they woke up early. And this language that the author is giving us here is returning us back to the first lesson. كيف أقضي يومي أستيقظ مبكرا. I wake up early. So he says وَاسْتَيْقَظُوا مُبَكِّرِينَ, so they woke up early. وَقَدْ نَظَرُوا, and they looked. نَظَرُوا, from nun dha ra, to look. نَظَرُوا إِلَى مَلَابِسِهِمْ. قَدْ here being like a word of emphasis or a matter of fact. نَظَرُوا إِلَى مَلَابِسِهِمْ, they looked at their clothes. مَلَابِس, at their clothes. وَأَهْذِيَتِهِمْ. وَأَهْذِيَتِهِمْ, the plural of حِذَاء, their shoes. وَقَلَانِسِهِمْ. قَلَانِس, the plural of Kalunsuwa, which we're going to have in a little while. Kalunsuwa in the next page. Qalanis, this is the kufi. This is the kufi, or the hat that the Muslim men wear, right? Taghiya, or qalunsuwa, or qahfiya, right? Qalanisihim are their hats. Miraran adidatan. وقد نظروا, and they looked at malabisihim, their clothes, wa ahliyatihim. All of these are majroor after ila, right? Qalanisihim, all of them going back to ila. Miraran adidatan. How did they look at them? Miraran, a number of times. Miraran, times. Adidatan, meaning a number of times. Adida, here being like a bunch, a plural. Miraran kathiran, miraran adidatan. They looked at them a number of times. وَلَمَّا كَانَ صَبَاحُ الْعِيدِ, وَلَمَّا, and when, كَانَ صَبَاحُ الْعِيدِ, and when it was the morning of the Eid, قَامُوا, they got up, they stood up. مِنْ فُرُشِهِمْ, from their beds. فِرَاش, the singular is فِرَاش. مِنْ فُرُشِهِمْ, from their beds. وَصَلُّوا, this is a mistake that we often see with the double fathas and stuff. Sallu, it should be a dhamma on the lam, and that should not be there. Wasallu, and they prayed as-subha. What did they pray? As-subha, another word for al-fajr. Wasallu al-fajra, or sallu as-subha. They prayed fajr, they prayed as-subh. Waghtasalu, from ghain sin lam, and they washed, they took a ghusl. Form 8. واغتسلوا وغيروا ملابسهم. وغيروا, from غين ya ra, form 2 here. وغيروا mean to change, and they changed ملابسهم. What did they change? ملابس, their clothes. مفعول به منصوب. ولبس كثير منهم, ولبس, to get, and they dressed, or they wore. Kathirum, who wore it? Kathirum, many. Minhum, from them. Malabisa, what did they wear? Labisa, malabisa, again maf'ulun bihi mansub. Jadidatan, jadida is an adjective describing malabis. Malabis is plural, and so jadid, but it's also ghayr al-aqil, so it's going to be in the feminine singular form, right? Jadidatan, they wore new clothes. وَأَحْذِيَةً جَدِيدَةً, and new shoes. وَقَلَانِسَ جَمِيلَةً, and beautiful hats, beautiful kufis. وَرَأَتْهُمْ أُمَّهَاتُهُمْ, وَرَأَتْهُمْ أُمَّهَاتُهُمْ, and their mothers saw them. Ra'at, ra'at, because whenever we start with the verb, we start with the singular form. As we see, we're talking about kathir being plural, but since we started with our verb, we didn't say labisu, we said labisa. We talked with the singular. Same thing, ra'at. Ra'at ummahatuhum, their mothers saw them. Their mothers saw them. Fafarihna, so they became happy. From fa, ra, ha. So they became happy. Bihim, with them. وَقَدَّمَ لَهُمْ آباؤهم وأقاربهم جائزة العيد. وقدم, again we have plurals appearing here, but the starting with the verb, it is singular. وقدم, and they presented to them, and they gave them, right? قدم, to present. وقدم, form 2 of qaf dal mim, to present. وقدم لهم, and they presented to them. لهم آباؤهم, who did the presenting? آباؤهم, fa'il. وأقاربهم, and their fathers and their relatives presented to them. جائزة, what did they present? جائزة, right? Al-Eid, the gifts of the Eid, the presents or the prizes of the Eid. جائزة, right? وَكَانَ وَلَدٌ يَتِيمٌ, and there was a walad, a boy, yatim, an orphan boy. تخدم أمه في بيت سعيد. تخدم, from khaf dal mim, meaning to serve. أمه, his mother, would serve. في بيت سعيد, in a bait, in a house or a house of Sa'id. Right? كان ولد يتيم, there was an orphan boy. تخدم أمه في بيت سعيد, or في بيتي, it should be بيتي, not بيتن. في بيتي سعيد, in Sa'id's house. Right? وليس عنده لباس جديد. وليس, and there's a negation here, ليس, and it was not عنده, with him, لباس جديد, new clothes. ولا حذاء جديد, and not new shoes. ولا قلنسوة, here we said قلانس before, here's the singular, قلنسوة نظيفة, nor did he have a clean, نظيفة, from nun dha fa, to be clean. Right? نظيف. قلنسوة نظيفة, nor did he have a clean kufi. فاغتسل, so he washed. ولبس, and he dressed. لباسه القديم, his old clothes. What did he wear? What did he get dressed in? His old clothes. مفعول به منصوب. وقد تشقق. وقد, and again an emphasis or a matter of fact. تشقق, from sheen qaf, here meaning to be torn, to be ripped. And his clothes were ripped, they were torn, they were beat up. وَلَبِسَ قَلُنْسُوَتَهُ, what did he wear? قَلُنْسُوَتَهُ مفعول به منصوب. القديمة, he wore his old kufi. وَقَدْ تَوَسَّخَتْ, and it had indeed become dirty, from wasakh, waw, sin, khaf, tawassakhat. Here is form 5, and it was dirty. وَكَانَ يَنْظُرُ, and he would look. إِلَى أَطْرَابِهِ, at his companions. Right? أَطْرَاب is the plural of tirb. We had this word before though, but it was a while ago. Tirb. Right? Tirbun. Meaning someone of the same age as you, your companion or your contemporary, right? Not really your friend, but your contemporary. Right? Those people in the same age, the same grade. وَإِلَى أَوْلَادِ الْأَغْنِيَاءِ, so كَانَ يَنْظُرُ إِلَى أَطْرَابِهِ, he would look at his contemporaries. وَإِلَى الْأَوْلَادِ الْأَغْنِيَاءِ, and at the children, the أولاد, the plural of walid. أَوْلَادِ الْأَغْنِيَاءِ, الْأَغْنِيَاء, the plural of غني, the children of the rich. بِغِبْتَةٍ وَخَجَلٍ. Ghibd, from ghain ba ta, is a type of envy, but it's not necessarily a bad envy where you want that favor to be removed, but rather you wish that you shared in that favor. It's not hasad. Hasad is a bad thing. Ghibd is something which could be good. You have ghibd. You see someone that has something nice, you wish you had it too. Not that you want it to be removed from them. Wal khajal. Khajal, from kha, jim, lam, meaning shyness, embarrassment. وَكَانَتْ أُمُّهُ مَهْزُونَةً, and his mother, أُمُّهُ, كانت, she was, mahzuna, from ha, zay, noon, from the word hazan, or huzn, to be sad. She was sad. تَذْكُرُ أَبَاهُ. تَذْكُرُ, she would remember, from ذَكَرَ, to remember. تَذْكُرُ, she was remembering. أَبَاهُ, remembering who? أَبَاهُ, mansub with an alif there. She was remembering his father. He was remembering his father. حزن سعيد بهذا المنظر. Remember, this boy lives in Beit Sa'idin, lives in Sa'id's house. So, Hazina, he was sad. Who was sad? Sa'id. Sa'id was sad. بهذا المنظر. With this manzar. Again, from Noon Dara. Like Nadaru, they looked at their clothes. Manzar is something that you look at, a sight. بهذا المنظر. At this sight. Sa'id was sad at this sight, at this picture. واستحى في نفسه. واستحى, right? From ha ya, here form 10, meaning to be ashamed. Could be shy or it could be ashamed. Here it's ashamed. وأشamed في نفسه, in himself. He was ashamed, right? He felt ashamed. في نفسه, in himself. فأسرع إلى صندوقه. فأسرع, from sin ra ain, to go quick, to rush, to dash. فأسرع, form 4. فأسرع إلى صندوقه. So he rushed, he dashed to his sunduq. Right? Sunduq from Sad, Noon, Dal, Qaf. Again, this is a 4-letter root, which we don't have too many of. Right? There are many of them, but in the beginning we don't have that many. Sunduqihi is his box. Right? Sunduq could be his closet or his box. وأهدى إليه ملبوسا نظيفا. وأهدى, and he gifted, from the word hidayah, the word gift. Hidayah means gift, right? Or hadiyah, asif. Hidayah means guidance. I'm sorry. Hadiyah. I wrote that wrong, incorrectly. I apologize. Hadiyatun. Right? Hadiyatun. Hidayah is guidance. Hadiyatun. وَأَهْدَى إِلَيْهِ مَلْبُوسًا. And he gifted ilayhi, to him, malbusan, clothes, nadifan. Nadif. Milab, malabis, malbus, just another word. Nadifan. And it is mansub because it is the object of the gift. He gifted to him malbusan, clothes, nadifan, clean ones. Not new ones, he didn't have a new set, but he had some clean clothes. Wa qalun suwatan nadifatan, and a clean kufi. فَذَهَبَ الْيَتِيمُ. So the orphan, he went, وَغَيَّرَ الْلِبَاسَ, and changed the clothes, وَفَرِحَ كَثِيرًا, and he became very happy. Just two fathas there. Right, فَرِحَ كَثِيرًا, and he was very happy. وَفَرِحَتْ أُمُّهُ, and his mother was happy. وَدَعَتْ, and she made dua, لِسَعِيدٍ, for Sa'id, بِالْبَرَكَةِ وَطُولِ الْعُمْرِ, and for blessings and long life. وَلَمَّا ارْتَفَعَتْ الشَّمْسُ, وَلَمَّا, and when, ارْتَفَعَتْ, this should have a sukoon there, however, because of the iltiqa sakinain, the meeting of the two sukoons here, then we put a kasra, right? Irtafa'a, from ra, fa'ain, to rise, form 8, irtafa'at. When the sun rose, kharaja an-nasu, the people went out, ila al-musalla, to the musalla, because the sunnah is to pray the Eid in the musalla, not in the masjid if you have the ability. وَكَانَ مَنْظَرًا جَمِيلًا, and the manzar, the sight, was pretty. It was a pretty sight. يَقُولُونَ Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. They were saying Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. They were making this takbir from the day of the Eid. وَصَلَّى الْإِمَامُ بِالنَّاسِ, and the imam, the fa'il here because it's marfu', he prayed with the people. ثُمَّ خَطَبَ, and then he gave the khutbah. وَرَجَعَ النَّاسُ, and the people returned. الناس مفعول الفاعل مرفوع. وَرَجَعَ النَّاسُ فاعل مرفوع, and the people returned. مِنَ الْمُصَلَّى, from the musalla, and here, both here and here the musalla is majroor, but because of this alif maqsura, they were not able to see the sign of the jar. وَرَجَعَ النَّاسُ مِنَ الْمُصَلَّى, they returned from the musalla بِطَرِيقٍ آخَرَ, with a different route. Tariq, a path or a way, a route. آخَرَ, right, is mamnu min as-sarf. It does not take the kasra, so therefore it is mansub. Or majroor, not mansub, it's majroor, asif. It's majroor with a fatha because it's mamnu min as-sarf. So they return from the musalla with a different way. This is the sunnah, to go to the Eid one way and come back a different way, to show the people the numbers and the strength of the Muslims, as well as to greet the other people along the way. To greet the other people along the way. وَزَارَ النَّاسُ, from Zara yazuru, and the people they visited. بَعْضُهُمْ بَعْضًا, some of them others. بَعْضُهُمْ, some of them. بَعْضًا, some of them some, meaning here they visited one another. وَضَيَّفَ بَعْضُهُمْ, ضَيَّفَ from ضاد يا فا, ضَيَّفَ form 2, meaning to host, like the word ضيف, guest, right? بَعْضُهُمْ أَصْدِقَاءَهُم, and some of them hosted, some of them, بَعْضُهُمْ, some of them hosted أَصْدِقَاءَهُم, they hosted who? أَصْدِقَاءَهُم, مفعول به منصوب. وهنأ, coming from ha, nun, alif, this is form 2, meaning to congratulate. وهنأ كل مسلم, and every Muslim congratulated صديقه, congratulated who? His friend, مفعول به منصوب, صديقه. وقال عيد سعيد, he said a happy Eid to them. كل عام وأنتم بخير, every year and you're in good. This is one of the ways that the Arabs greet one another, right? كل عام وأنتم بخير. وكان صباح العيد جميلا, and the morning of the Eid, صباح العيد مضاف مضاف إليه, it was جميلا, it was very nice, it was beautiful. وفي العصر, and at Asr time, ذكر الناس رمضان, the people they remembered Ramadan, مفعول به منصوب, they remembered a people, and nas is the fa'il, marfu', they remembered Ramadan. وفطوره, and its breaking of the fast, futur, right, iftar, فطوره, and they remembered فطوره, مفعول به الثاني, the second مفعول به. وفي الليلة, and in the night, right, and it should be وفي الليل. I don't know why this would be mansub, I could be wrong. وفي الليل, not layla. وفي الليل, and in the night, ذكروا التراويح, they remembered التراويح, مفعول به منصوب, they remembered صلاة التراويح. وشعروا كأنهم فقدوا شيئا, شعروا from Shin Ain Ra, meaning to feel, shu'ur, right, to feel, شعروا, and they felt, كأنهم, كأن, as if, كأنهم, as if they, فقدوا, from فقد يفقد, to miss something, فقدوا, to miss or to lose, فقدوا شيئا, that they lost something, وشعروا كأنهم فقدوا شيئا, that they missed something, that they're missing something, they lost something. أو ضاع منهم شيء, or ضاع, again, ضاع means to lose, from ضايع, meaning to lose, ضيع, Yada'u, da'a, yada'u, to lose something. Right? Minhum shay. That something was lost or is missing from them. Same thing. Sha'aru, they felt. كأنهم فقدوا شيئا, that they lost something. أو ضاع منهم شيء, or something was lost from them. وقال بعض الناس, and some of the people they said, بعض الناس, بعض is the file, بعض الناس مفعول مضاف مضاف إليه. العيد, the Eid, ساعات is hours, the plural of ساعة, hour. العيد ساعات, ورمضان كله عيد, and all of the Ramadan is a Eid. This is a phrase that they said, Al-Eidu Sa'at, meaning the Eid is just a few hours. Wa Ramadan kulluhu Eid. What Ramadan, all of it is an Eid. They enjoy all of Ramadan, basically. Eid, just a few days. That's a few hours, I mean. But Ramadan, we enjoy it all. We'll go back to the top, inshallah ta'ala, and read it together as a story. Inshallah, will be clear. Yawm al-Eid, the day of Eid. Kana ams Yawm al-Eid. Yesterday was the day of Eid. اجتمع الناس والأطفال عند الغروب. The people and the children, they gathered at the time of the setting of the sun. ويتراءون الهلال, and they were looking for the crescent, the new moon. وصعدوا على سقوف البيوت, and they climbed on the tops of the houses. والسطوح, and the roof terraces. وعلى منارات, and on the minaras, the minara. ظهر الهلال, the crescent appeared. فهتف الأولاد, so the children shouted, الهلال الهلال, the crescent, the crescent. وجروا إلى بيوتهم, and they ran to their houses. وسلموا على آبائهم, and they gave salams to their fathers. وأمهاتهم, and their mothers. وعلى الأقارب, and upon their relatives. فدعوا لهم, so they made dua for them. بالبركة, for blessings. وطول العمر, and long life. ونام الأطفال ليلة العيد قليلا, and the children slept on the night of Eid a little bit. واستيقظوا مبكرين, and they woke up early. وقد نظروا إلى ملابسهم, and they had looked at their clothes. وأحذيتهم, and their shoes. وقلانسهم, and their kufis. مرارا عديدة, a number of times. ولما كان الصباح العيد, and when it was the morning of the Eid, قاموا, they stood, من فروشهم, from their beds. وصلوا الصبح, and they prayed الصبح, they prayed Fajr. واغتسلوا, and they took a shower or a bath. وغيروا ملابسهم, and they changed their clothes. ولبس كثير منهم ملابس جديدة, and many of them, they wore new clothes. وأحذية جديدة, and new shoes. وقلانس جميلة, and beautiful kufis. ورأتهم أمهاتهم, and their mothers saw them. ففرحنا بهم, so they were happy with them. وقدم لهم, and they presented to them. آباؤهم وأقاربهم, their fathers and their relatives presented to them. جائزة العيد, the prize or the gift of the Eid. وكان ولد يتيم, and there was a young orphan boy. تخدم أمه في بيت سعيد, and his mother used to serve in the house of Sa'id. That's not a tanween there, it's just one kasra on that bait. وَلَيْسَ عِنْدَهُ لِبَاسٌ جَدِيدٌ, and he did not have new clothes. وَلَا هِدَاءٌ جَدِيدٌ, nor new shoes. وَلَا قَلُنْسُوَةٌ نَظِيفَةٌ, and nor did he have a clean kufi. فَاغْتَسَلَ وَلَبِسَ لِبَاسَهُ الْقَدِيمَ, so he took a shower and he wore his old clothes. وَقَدْ تَشَقَّقَ, and they were torn. وَلَبِسَ قَلُنْسُوَتَهُ الْقَدِيمَةَ, and he wore his old kufi. وَقَدْ تَوَسَّخَتْ, and it had become dirty. وَكَانَ يَنْظُرُ إِلَى أَطْرَابِهِ, and he was looking at his contemporaries. وإلى أولاد الأغنياء and at the children of the rich بغبطة وخجل with good envy, with a desire, and with shyness. وكانت أمه محزونة and his mother was sad. تذكر أباه, remembering his father. حزن سعيد بهذا المنظر. Sa'id, he became sad at this sight. واستحى في نفسه, and he was ashamed in himself. فأسرع إلى صندوقه, so he rushed to his closet. وأهدى إليه ملبوسا نظيفا, and he gifted him some clean clothes. وقلنسوة نظيفة, and a clean kufi. فذهب اليتيم, so the orphan he went. وغير اللباس, and he changed the clothes. وفرح كثيرا, and he was very happy. وفرحت أمه, and his mother was happy. ودعت لسعيد, and she made dua for Sa'id بالبركة وطول العمر, for blessings and long life. ولما ارتفعت الشمس, and when the sun rose, خرج الناس إلى المصلى, the people went out to the musalla. وكان منظرا جميلا, and it was a beautiful sight. يقولون, they were saying, الله أكبر, لا إله إلا الله, والله أكبر, ولله الحمد. وصلى الإمام بالناس, and the imam he prayed with the people. ثم خطب, and then he gave the khutbah. ورجع الناس من المصلى, and the people returned from the musalla بطريق آخر, from a different way. وزار الناس بعضهم بعضا, and the people visited one another. وضيف بعضهم أصدقاءهم, and some of them hosted their friends. وهنأ كل مسلم صديقه, and every Muslim congratulated his friend. وقال, and he said, عيد سعيد, happy Eid. كل عام وأنتم بخير, every year and you're in good. وكان صباح العيد جميلا, and the morning of Eid was beautiful. وفي العصر, and at the Asr time, ذكر الناس رمضان, the people, they remembered Ramadan, وفطوره, and its breaking of the fast. وفي الليل, and in the night, ذكروا التراويح, they remembered the night prayer, tarawih. وشعروا كأنهم فقدوا شيئا, and they felt as if they had lost something. وضاع منهم شيء, and something was lost from them. وقال بعض الناس, and some of the people, they said, العيد ساعات ورمضان كله عيد. The Eid is nothing but a number of hours, while Ramadan, all of it is an Eid. Alhamdulillah, we completed this first section. These 31 stories are the first section of the book Al-Qira'atu Rashida. In the end of the book, there is a section called Nashatat Ta'limiyya, basically educational activities. These are questions regarding each story. Number one, we didn't pay attention to this until we were maybe halfway into this first section. The goal would be to review and to answer these questions after every story. However, as we said, we didn't find out about it until maybe halfway. We didn't pay attention to it being there until about halfway, maybe story 15, 16, somewhere in there, I'm not sure. But that might be a good thing, because maybe we weren't capable of answering these questions to the best of our abilities with the limited vocabulary from each story. But now that we've read 31 stories, and we have accumulated and amassed hundreds and hundreds of verbs, and thousands of vocabulary words, the singulars and the plurals, synonyms and antonyms. We've accumulated past and present verbs of the different forms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the forms of the verbs have been here. Then maybe we're more capable of answering these questions. And so, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to start going over these questions in separate videos. So the questions from story 1, Kayfa Aqdi Yomi, we will read them. There are 5 basic questions, and then there are 2 multiple choice questions, right? The 5 questions, then you are going to have to answer them from yourself, right? It's not about the story and answering questions from the story. It's about using the story to answer the question and the vocabulary that you learn from the story to answer the questions in your own words from your perspective. And then the choosing the correct answer, then this is easy, multiple choice, right? And so on and so forth that we're going to have, and we're going to go over them, and we will add them to the playlist at the end. And I suggest, inshallah ta'ala, that you try to answer these questions. But before you do, you rewatch the video. Unless you've mastered Arabic in these 31 lessons, and I would pray that someone has done something. I don't think that I've given you enough that you could master it, but you could become more familiar. Keep reading these stories. Read it and read it and read it until you understand it without any help, without a dictionary, without any, you understand it and you can know what's going on in the story. And then we can answer these questions, right? So now, this is what we're going to do from here on out. We're going to go through these 1 through 31. And then, inshallah ta'ala, I think, and Allah knows best. Allah knows best. You don't need me anymore after that. You won't need me anymore when it comes to this book. You will have learned how this book works, and you will have learned enough of using the dictionary to find roots, right? And to figure out where the verbs come from and what they mean. And if you have a Hans Word dictionary, all of this is going to help you. I think that you will have enough at that point that you can read the rest of the book on your own using a dictionary. But it's a possibility, and it's going to depend on your comments. Not now on this video here, right? But at the end of the questions and answers from lesson 31. That's when it's going to matter. At the end of the questions and these activities from lesson 31, right? Should we read section 2 but without the details? Just read it and translate it like I do at the end of every one of these videos. And in this way you can at least know if you're reading it and understanding it properly. As far as the why is this mansub and why is this maf'ulun bi and why is this majroor and why is this that, then it's my idea to not do that at all, that we've done enough of that. And I think that if you're truly studying and you're following it and paying attention, that you'll be able to do that. And inshallah ta'ala, you can give me some feedback, but I won't determine that until the end. It's either I'm done or we read it with just the translation, because I don't think we need to go through every story in the detail that we've been doing so. And Allah knows best. I look forward to your feedback when we finish the questions and the activities regarding each lesson. Until then, as always, questions, comments, concerns, corrections, complaints, whatever it might be, are welcome in the description below. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.